If you like frozen yogurt, paninis, adult floats, endless mimosas, 32 Below, Froyo, and more is for you. They're located in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and they got a little something for the whole family. On Saturdays and Sundays, they have endless mimosas. So make sure you go check them out, like them on social media, go to Yelp, give them a great review. They're an amazing business, community minded, and doing some great things in our community. Welcome to Keeping Tabs. I'm Tabitha Croc, and every Monday, I talk to someone here in North Idaho with the goal to connect more people in the Coeur d'Alene area. And then every Friday, I talk to someone outside the community to bring in a new perspective and to learn a little bit about yourself. All right, I have Nicole with me, Nicole Hammons. And so we just were talking, this woman has like 5 careers right now. She's full-time mom, full-time, probably, taxi driver for your kids, because I know your kids are active. You are the development director for the Boys and Girls Club. Your husband just started his own real estate, so you're doing some operation stuff for that. But then on top of it all, you guys actually own your own business. You have a wonderful wine store or wine bar here in town, in Coeur d'Alene. So I don't know how you have time for anything else.
I was talking with Connor about this last night, and I was saying, people are like, how do you do it all? But I think the truth is we don't. So our life at home, we never have groceries. We eat out for dinner a lot. We're struggling always to find clean clothes. Mm-hmm. We have a guy that comes and picks up our dog poop. So I think you have to make the things that you really want to do or that are good for your heart and focus on those, and then kind of find someone else that can help you with the rest.
Yeah. You might need a personal assistant. I really feel like that would help you.
So we're going to hire one for summer between all of the things we have going on. So if anyone knows what looking, come find us.
Well, if I missed anything, tell me a little bit about yourself, kind of like how this, I know it's a lot, but how did this all come about to who you are, what you're doing?
Sure. I'm not from Coeur d'Alene, but from Lewiston. And then I met Connor at University of Idaho. We moved here, had babies. We lived in Phoenix for a little bit. I used to be the graphic designer out at the Coeur d'Alene Casino for about 8 years. And then my life kind of changed. I was volunteering with Boys and Girls Club for the auction, but then my dad passed away and I got cancer all in 1 year. And so I just wanted a life change. So opportunity came available. And so I joined the team. I knew Ryan Davis from before. And so I kind of knew what I was getting into or going to be a part of. And I think that's a unique situation when you're getting a new job that you already know the people you'll work with. So that's how I got started there. And then I do all the events and marketing and really love that part of it. The wine house is kind of just fell in our laps kind of thing. The building was for sale. It'd been a hawk shop for 30 years and they were retiring and moving to Boise. And since Connor's in real estate, the price kept dropping. And so we're like, well, commercial on Sherman, East Sherman's coming up. It was just a good investment. Originally, we thought about Connor putting a real estate business in, and then it just wasn't big enough. If you've been here, it's not super big. There's just nowhere to make offices. And so then we looked at renting it out to different local coffee shops or all kinds of things. And it just never really panned out. So then we're on vacation and we were at a winery that was a lot like this, where it's just casual and you can go and hang out like in your flip-flops or coming off the lake. And there's there's no pretentiousness about it. It's just kind of like, if you like wine, awesome. If you don't, okay, you don't have to know a ton. And so we were sitting out in the sunshine and we're like, this is what we should do. We didn't want to leave. And then we really felt like it was kind of what was missing from our area, that there are awesome places to get wine and food. And we just wanted to kind of fill that niche of the casual side of it, where, people come from the lake or they come in yoga pants to get brunch, and we're for all of it. And so that's kind of how this came about. But it's been a lot of fun. We remodeled, opened a business we knew kind of nothing about, all during a pandemic. So I feel like if we can do that, then we're going to survive. It's going to be okay.
And look where you're at. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, it is. I go there frequent there. I was just saying because I live on East Sherman, so it's like the part of town that is starting to come up, and so it is exciting to have a nice place to go to have like an appetizer and a glass of wine or a happy hour up with someone you work with. And so it's just like you said, it's just a niche that we don't have. I mean, we have great wine places and places to get wine, but it's like you're getting a
Right.
meal, you're getting it's like a sit down thing. This is like stop and grab a couple glasses of wine, and that's it.
Yeah, and it's funny. My husband grew up down the street, so it's kind of funny. They used to walk next door and get breakfast in the morning, and this place was still here. And so, having a lot of customers come in that used to either come here over the years and be like, "Oh my gosh, it's so different. We used to come here all the time." And so, I think that's kind of a unique part of being down here too, is it's very local. In the summer, especially, we have a lot of walkers and bikers, and there's moon time, which we love. We there way too often. Um, so it's nice to be on the end of Sherman that's developing, but also the people that are down here enjoy it too. So it's been fun to meet a bunch of the locals and kind of make those relationships.
We were joking when we were talking, like even the police officers were like, "This is nice to have on this side of town." Like we know it's like people that are just like coming in and having a good time and not like trying to get drunk and go crazy. It's more of like
Right.
a social, and the outdoor seating was genius by you guys with that
Yeah.
like location.
It's
Like,
my favorite part. Like, I love it. We had a lot of help putting all the patio stuff in, but it really is like in the summer and hanging out in the sunshine. That's why I live here. I love being outdoors in the summer. I am not a snow person, so the summer has to be worth it for me to stay. Um, so I think that's been a great part for this.
I think that's all Lewiston people, all the Lewiston friends I have, because I lived there for a couple of years too. And so I'm like, you Lewiston people, they're like, nope, no snow. We love Idaho,
Yeah.
but no snow.
It snows like 3 times and it's cool and then it goes away and then it's fine. You golf all year long and we're not used to it.
Yeah. So you're out there just killing it. What like inspires you to kind of be your best self and like to do all these things?
I think it's different now that I have kids, right? So everything is kind of like when they're really little, you don't realize how much they watch you until you're driving through the grocery store in those carts that have the cars. I know you moms all hate those. And your kid is honking the horn, being like, move it. And you're like, oh, okay. So we're watching now. So I think it's setting an example for them that, you can build dreams, even if they're crazy, and go for them, but you can also still play candling at home or, be family time. So I think for them to be able to see that we have to work really hard for what we have, but working hard gets you somewhere and it makes your dreams possible. And so I think that's kind of where we want kids to be, is that not, I don't know, sitting at home and thinking like, oh, I don't have that. But you go work for it, then it's attainable. So I think that's mostly where we're trying to be right now, is just show them that it's hard work, but it gets you there. And so those are your goals.
So,
Yeah.
and I think, and then kids, that's all they do. I mean, they watch everything
yeah.
that's going on. So if they see their parents, it's going to inspire them, and it's inspiring each other. And then, you have somebody and something to like, you're doing this not only for you and your husband, but for your kids too.
Right. And our daughter, for her credit, she does competitive gymnastics, and she loves it more than I think I've loved like anything. Maybe not shopping, but pretty much anything else. Like her whole soul is in it. And so she's there 5 hours a day, 4 days a week. And this is her like third year, fourth year. Never once complained about it. Never been like, oh, I don't want to go to practice. So I think that some of that pays off, that you work hard and show them that, you can do it. And it's been good for her. She's super shy. Now she's kind of more out of her shell. And so I think that those things, even though it's so much driving, that we're behind them too. So if they want to dream big or go after something, that we'll support them along the way.
Yeah. And so with your businesses and stuff, I mean, your career has been very successful and you've done a lot and you're learning a lot. Is there a life lesson you've learned kind of the hard way?
I was talking with Connor funny about this, and he's like, what do you mean? You always just figure it out? And I'm like, But we all fail at small things, right? Like I decided in high school I should take physics because I didn't want to take chemistry and not my thing. But I think overall it's more like only be involved with the things that like really your heart is into, not because like your friends are like, oh, you should be on this board with us and we should do this. And so if you're over involved, it's hard to be all in on a few things and you're very thin. And so I think the last year has been really kind of a blessing in that way, that so many things had to calm down or shut down that you could be like, oh, wait, I'm not going to do that one again, which is not that it was a bad choice or a bad organization that you're a part of or anything. It's just that it's time for someone who has more heart or more time to step into that role and you to kind of focus on what you really want at that time. So it's just seasons of life. Like I had a season where I could definitely be volunteering for a lot of things or being on boards or committees. And now my season is 3 full businesses and grown kids and homeschooling. And so it just has to change a little bit, but just got to pick what you want to do and not overextend yourself, because then you're just miserable.
Like COVID has, I think, taught us, the pandemic has taught us to slow down, to really things that you want to give your energy to. And I think that's a blessing with this whole craziness.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I think during COVID time, we had so much fun, like watching movies and doing movie nights and laying in our pajamas with our kids. Like we really got to know them on a different level. And so for me, I'm super thankful for that part. Just changes the way you function in life. And so I'm hoping that we can kind of balance it now, like less pajamas but still more fun times together. So
exactly. I love it. So since you're in the restaurant industry now, what is your go-to besides the wine house? You can plug that all you want, but what is somewhere else that it's like your go-to or maybe favorite restaurant in Coeur d'Alene?
So this was really hard for me. Depends on the mood. If I don't have kids and we have time, I love going to Wolf Lodge because I like steak, like just want to eat that for dinner. That's it. If we're in town, we go to Midtown Bluebird. We live Midtown. Love all the Midtown restaurants, Syringa. We like to stay in our little hub. I think if you live downtown, I don't know if you're like this, if you have to like go north of Appleway, you're kind of like, I just don't want to.
If I have to go north of Harrison, I start to go,
I know, it's bad. But those are kind of where we go a lot. I like local places. Also anything Adam Hegstead. Good.
Mm-hmm. Spokane or Coeur d'Alene. All of his stuff is fantastic.
So good. Yeah.
I love it. So outside of being a mom, taxi driver, business owner, raising money for Boys and Girls Club, what are your outside hobbies?
Pre-COVID, I love to travel. My 2 best girlfriends, we all live kind of apart. And so we would do girls trips 3-ish times a year before this, and then go somewhere different and hang out. And if you can't be with them all the time, then you can at least get these weekends to kind of rejuvenate your soul. We'd like to travel as family. I love to shop, and my husband will kill me for this. Like, I love it. COVID didn't stop that. I just got Wannable, Stitch Fix, Nordstrom boxes. Like, it just comes all the time. I can't stop myself. It's bad. And I think over volunteering, is that a hobby? I don't know.
Yes, it's really tough. I've been there. Yeah.
I really love to work. So I'm like, I like to work. And I'm like, that's not a hobby. Well, okay.
Well, but it kind of is. So if you had a billboard in Coeur d'Alene and you could write anything on it or put anything on it, what would it say?
I don't know. Depending on the time of year, I feel like if it's like August, for me, it's like Boys and Girls Club Black and White, like August, September, get your tickets. Cause that's all I feel like I live for a month. And so I'm just like, get your tickets. If it's like summer, I think it'd be more like, just go to the beach, like take a break, save the dogs. I don't know. Like we have 2 rescue dogs, and then we just got a puppy. And so I'm really into like saving the little animals and having them all at my house. I'd have a mini farm if downtown would let me. I don't know, something fun, like just eye catching that would lift your day versus be like just another driving day working or, bad day, something funny. Like those bear billboards from Spokane that were very inappropriate but hilarious.
Oh, good.
Something like that. Like you're going to notice them.
Yeah. Or, you could put the Winehouse logo and just say, you deserve that glass of wine.
You earned it today.
We all earn that wine. Oh, that's funny. So do you have any upcoming goals, things that you have going on, whether it's business, Boys and Girls Club, personally, anything coming up?
Winehouse goals, we're going to do another kind of small expansion remodel in spring. So we'll add more covered patio seating, and the next winter it'll wrap around a lot like Daft Badger.
Oh, cool.
And then the back will patio out as well. So that's kind of what we're trying for here. We're still trying things. I think because we haven't been in the industry before, we just kind of throw it out there, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, we switch it up. Boys and Girls Club wise, I think this year coming out of COVID is going to be interesting. Hosting events. We were so lucky last year to still have 2 in-person events. We were like in this perfect bubble of time that happened to work out. And so we're so grateful for that. I know a lot of events are switching to just virtual, but I feel like, especially in this community, there's something about being together with people, and that atmosphere in the room really does help you reach your goal. And people want to be with people. Like you want to go there and see your friends, especially after this year. So I'm really hoping that we can still we have 2 major events, our spring party in May and our annual auction in September. So I'm really hoping both those can be in person, and we're going for that as of now to see how that goes. And then if we have to pivot, we will. But again, I'm like this dreamer, right? So it's just like, I'm just going to put it out there and hopefully it comes. If not, we can work through it. But
right. Yeah, I think if you can do anything outdoors, that's always like super helpful. But if you can't, like a dinner auction, it's interesting. We're like, okay, where can we hopefully have good weather, have the space, have the
weather? Oh. Yeah, we move. So normally annual auction is at the resort, all 6 bays, over 500 people. Like it's a big undertaking. And we knew that wouldn't be possible last year. So we were lucky enough to move it to the event center, which is half outside and then all the windows open. So covered indoors and cut in half. And so I think that we did a crazy number, this community, with how much money we can raise to support not just our organization, but any organization, is amazing. Like it amazes me every event I go to, that people just will come again and support. And so for us, we were nervous because we do heavily rely on one event a year to raise almost or over half our operating budget. And they still showed up. If they didn't come, they could still donate. So we made it work. And I think that at that time it rained all morning, and I was dying because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's raining and we're in a tent and people are fancy dressed. It's not going to work. And then all of a sudden, like the sunshine came out and it was check-in, and it was amazing. And then later it poured and the tent gave way and ruined a bunch of equipment, but it doesn't matter because no one knew that but me. So I think those, like, just making it through the new normal of however that looks this year, and still being successful, supporting the community, and people still showing up, I think is the biggest thing. That just because COVID happened or that our lives changed, it doesn't mean that people need us less or kids need us less. It just means it looks a little bit different.
Right. So you obviously, I worked at the Boys and Girls Club. There's that mission statement. You do your life by, it's all you like breathe, and that's why you do your job. Do you have a personal mission statement for yourself?
I think it's mostly would be like just, and it kind of falls in line with that, which is why I love what I do so much. I think it's just like, do good and be kind. So no matter what you're doing, if it's like holding the door for people or, helping raise money, just do something better for someone else than is going on. And so if we could all do a little bit of that, I think that it'd be a little happier. It doesn't take a lot to say thanks to the grocery checker or, just because you're having a bad day or things didn't work out doesn't mean that you have to pass it on to people. And I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes if I'm in a mood, it's just my mood, and but I'm always like, okay, check yourself. It's not their fault you spilled your coffee in your car today. So I think if we just kind of like did that a little bit more, then it'd be a little better.
Oh, so true. And like we mentioned before, you have opened a business during a pandemic. One of my other friends did the same thing. And, we went through the crazy, especially living in North Idaho, we have the crazy elections, all of the politics stuff. We have a lot going on. People are dealing with stuff with mentally, physically, emotionally. It's just tough. Do you have a piece of advice for someone listening, like how to navigate through this hard time?
I think for us, so my whole family, except for me, all had COVID right at Christmas. And that was like a different being home because you really needed to be home. But I think if you're kind of in that slump or, you've just burnt out, one, being outside, like, right. Even if you're sick, hungover, tired, if you go outside and get some air, walk around the block, it really does change your mood. But I think also finding the things that will just like boost you, whether it's podcasts or you have a playlist or something that you don't listen to all the time, but you can like go to for that. You really need this right now. And so it's like your one thing. I feel like that's how I rarely, but when I do cardio, I have like a Netflix series and I'm only allowed to watch the episodes while I do it. And that's like kind of how I can get through it. It's like, you're a runner, praise you, not a runner. A runner.
That's a great idea though. Like that's your only time you get to watch it. If you're craving an episode, you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to get on that treadmill, that bike and watch it.
Yeah, from someone who owns a Peloton that has sat for a while. But then I'm like, we're busy, but you should still work out. I would just rather lift weights all day versus run down the street. Like that's where I'm at with that.
Hey, everybody's different. And I always tell people who are like, oh, I want to become more of a better runner. I want to do this. I'm like, cool. Do you like it? Do you actually enjoy it at all? And they're like, no. I'm like, then find something else.
Right. Don't force yourself to do something you don't do.
Exactly. And I think that's what we've learned a lot that's what I've learned this year is that stop doing things that you don't like to do. Like,
but you know what I do miss? Dancing at a club or a bar or with my friends. Like
even a karaoke place. Like I love to dance and karaoke and have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm ready for that part to come back.
Me too. So what do you have, how can we support you right now? Or how can we get a hold of you or support you in any way?
Sure. I think for business-wise, for Winehouse-wise, I think just come check it out. If you haven't been here, we're doing some fun things. We are going to host our first paired dinner, which is different for us because we normally have kind of flatbread style, but I call her the kitchen magician. She's our chef. She has catering. She used to run a college catering company, like business. And so she's cooking, not I'm not the cooker. We went through that, right? I don't do dinner. And so it is 7 courses paired with 7 wines on Friday the 12th. It's $150 for 2 people. And so kind of guide you through the wine and you get different foods, kind of a fun experience. And then we're doing a Galentine's party. So if you don't know what Galentine's Day is, it is this made up holiday from Parks and Rec, but now it's a thing. And it's the day before Valentine's Day where you hang with your gals. And so Saturday night will be Galentine's, lots of fun champagne and chocolate and just kind of fun things. And then Sunday on Valentine's Day, we'll do brunch. And so we'll have kind of Valentine's brunch theme and then we'll open all day. So we start at 10:30.
Wow.
And then club life, come to events, support, check out what they're doing. We're just getting back into having volunteers in the building. And so if you have any kind of secret talent, or want to hang with kids or want to help make snack or pretty much anything, they have sign language club and a wonderful volunteer that taught them all how to knit. And now my 8-year-old son can knit, which is a talent that we might need someday. So I think anything like that you secretly love to do, come share your gift or come to events, just see what we got going on.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. That was awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you.
Thanks for listening to Keeping Tabs. I'm Tabitha Crock, and every Monday I release a podcast about different community members here in North Idaho. And then we end the weeks on Fridays with a podcast about the things I'm passionate about: outdoors, adventures, sports, the van life, and even current events. So if you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes. Thank you again. Now go be kind and do something great.